Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Moore. Last night, Kyle Wright made his second appearance since returning from a shoulder injury, and it went just as poorly as the first one, maybe even more poorly. Stat line, he only gave up 4 runs this time, but he did give up 3 homers. He had 4 or 5 walks? 4 walks. 4 walks to go along with 5 strikeouts. He did make it to 78 pitches. Listen, we've talked about this before. These are essentially rehab assignments for him that he's making at the major league level to get experience against major league pitching. But listen, he only has 2 more starts left, and we've got to see something more. The question is, and this is really what we're getting into in this segment, is these concerns and what do we have? And when you look at the back end of this bullpen, the Braves kind of really need him to show up and be just an option. I'm not saying that he even has to pitch, but if you get in a 5-game series, you get in a 7-game series, you're going to need some of these pitchers at the back end to pitch occasionally and give you a couple innings here and there. And Kyle Wright certainly is one of the Braves' best options when he's right. The question is he going to be right? And how much confidence do you have him? We're going to have to see. I see these first 2 starts that he made are much more like rehab assignments. These next 2 starts he makes to end or outings or whatever they use him, whatever role they use him, we're going to have to see something. And the control hasn't been there. He's given up way too much hard contact. Like right now, if you were to say tomorrow, Kyle Wright, we need you in the NLDS, I don't think anyone can say with a straight face that they feel confident in that happening.
No, I don't think so at all. To be fair, and you mentioned it, these are more like rehab starts. So instead of looking at the results per se, we should be looking at the process. But even then, like you said, the control is just not there. The process really hasn't been all that great. Now, with that being said, you can't really hold these starts against them. Like you said, rehab, and the Phillies lineup is one of the best in baseball, and they're hotter than, Hades right now. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, they're all hitting. But these are the lineups he's going to have to face in the postseason. So it's kind of like, give and take. These are rehab. This is a great lineup. He's just faced them for the second time. But then again, we're probably going to see the Phillies. We're probably going to see lineups just as good as this one. So, yeah, we got to figure out a lot about Kyle Wright and a lot about the bullpen. The bottom half, the back end of the bullpen leaves a lot to be desired. Kyle Wright could go a long way in shoring that up if he shows us something over these next 2 starts.
Yeah, and hopefully we see Jesse Chavez. I mean, I know
What is this? What is the holdup with Jesse Chavez?
I don't know. To me, it's like get him up here and see what he can do, because the thing about it is I just don't know where else you turn. Do you go to Jackson Stevens? I mean, the guy has made 1 appearance in the majors this entire season. Lucas Luetge, there's no way you're using him. Dylan Lee and Colin McHugh are on the IL. They don't look like they're coming back. There's been no signs of Nick Anderson. Jesse Chavez is you kind of need him to be that 9th guy in the bullpen. And like I said, hopefully you don't have to use 9 guys in the bullpen. Hopefully Chavez and Kyle Wright, you win good. Your starting pitching goes 6-7 innings and you can use your main guys and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's just not usually how playoff series go. And you usually need some of these guys in the back end of the bullpen to eat some innings, and particularly in a game where your starters doesn't go deep into the ball game. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we see Jesse Chavez. Hopefully we see Kyle Wright. But that 8-9 spot, I just did the Braves postseason roster. It's up on the site at sportstalkatl.com. I mean, there's just not a lot there. It's almost like they have to be Jesse Chavez or Kyle Wright or maybe Jackson Stevens. I just don't see it. So when you're talking about concerns, you're talking about the back end of this bullpen. Obviously, Max Fried, his start just got moved back with the blister. I know they said they got it before it turned into a bad blister, but these Max Fried and these blister situations, this is something that he's dealt with his entire career. Definitely something I'm going to be monitoring the rest of the way the next time he toes the rubber. And then just the overall play of the team. I don't know what's been going on these last 4 days, and maybe it's a hangover from winning the division, but it's ever since they won the division, and listen, that's fine. It can happen. You can do this. But over these next 12 games, 10 games, or whatever we have remaining, we got to, come on, let's put a pep in our step. We can't be playing crappy baseball. Because like I've said a million times, one of the things that I thought in 2021, it felt like the Braves were playing playoff baseball since the middle of June, since the middle of July. I thought that helped them a lot in the postseason. Last year, you could say the same. I mean, they were chasing down the Mets the whole time, so you could say the same. So it's not a perfect recipe. You never know. But you want these guys to be playing their best baseball going into October, and giving up 46 runs or whatever it is, or 44 runs over the last 4 games, it's been ugly. I mean, it's just been ugly. And it just seems like they almost checked out. Let's lock back in here.
Yeah, they haven't lost 5 straight games. Last night was the 4th straight. They haven't lost 5 straight games since 2017. So, yeah, I don't think it's cause for concern by any means, but it's time to wake back up. It's like everybody checked out when they won the division, including me. I haven't watched as many. I've only watched a couple of these Braves losses because it's football season. I'm trying to get into the football. Maybe the Braves are also watching football too instead of focusing on themselves. I don't know what it is, but I did want to calm a few concerns about the bullpen. The back end leaves something to be desired, but the horses are still the horses. And everybody's bullpen has holes. Nobody has 9 guys that are just solid, and I'm not saying that you said that. I'm just saying a lot of Braves fans are, up in arms. The sky is falling. Our bullpen is terrible. Rafael Iglesias, AJ Minter, Pierce Johnson, and Joe Jimenez are as solid as any front line of any bullpen across the league. Nobody has 9 guys that are just rock solid. No bullpen does. Every bullpen gives up runs. Every bullpen blows saves. It just so happens that Braves fans freak out every single time it happens to us. Are there things to clean up? Absolutely. The goal for the rest of the season should just be to figure it out and be playing your best baseball at the end of the season. That's all that matters. Whoever's the hottest team in October is always going to win it. It doesn't matter what you did for the first 162 games. Yes, the Braves were undoubtedly the best team this season, but that doesn't frankly matter anymore. What matters is gearing up for October. And, to your point about all these bullpen concerns, I did just want to say that, nobody's got just locked down 9 guys. That just doesn't exist. Nobody should be freaking out. And listen, about the starting rotation too, nobody has 3 horses like Max Fried, Spencer Strider, and Charlie Morton right now. And then a 4th guy like Bryce Elder. Nobody has that. We're still good. We're still the best team in baseball, even if we're not playing like it. I know I'm not convincing you of that. I'm just trying to calm some Braves fans down.
Yeah, I'm not going to get my panties in a wad over a 4-game sample size when you just clinched the division and you even just clinched a first-round bye. Not exactly how you want to clinch a first-round bye, just kind of tumbling your way into it. They got some business to take care of, though. I'm not totally – like I said, I don't even care if the Braves finish with the best record in the National League. I've even gone on record and said, hey, it might actually work in a better way because I'd rather play the winner of that 3-6 matchup than possibly get the Phillies in the NLDS. I've even said that. Still – I think you got to focus these next 12 games and get back on track and start playing legitimately. Because you talk about rest and stuff, the Braves are going to have plenty of rest. They get 5-6 days off, getting that first round bye. They skip the wild card series, so they get 5-6 days off. I really hope to see over these next 10, 11, 12 games. I think we have 12 games left. I'm not completely sure. That we just get back on track, because it is a little bit concerning when you talk about all of these things and then just the way that they're playing. It's just been ugly. Like giving up 46 runs, I don't care, and 4-game stretch, especially when 3 of those games came against the Marlins, who have about 5 guys you can even talk about in their lineup as threats. It's ugly. It's ugly.
Let me just give one more excuse and I'll let you wrap it up. And it is an excuse. That's what it is. But if it helps Braves fans rest at night, the Phillies and Marlins are scratching and clawing. They are in the wild card race. They are scratching and clawing, playing. Every single pitch is important to them. And I'm not trying to downplay the Braves' concerns of this poor play over the last 4 games, because that's what it's been, poor play. But the teams they're playing are much more focused on the task at hand currently, while the Braves are focused on the postseason.
Yeah. I don't think any of those things are wrong. But it's still concerning. I want to see him to start play a little better. Coming up after the break, we're going to break down Monday Night Football.